The story begins in the mid-20th century within the walls of a notorious American penitentiary. Surrounded by gray stone and a haunting silence. A special wing of the prison was reserved for those on death row, a place the inmates called the Gateway to Death. Aditya, inspired by Paul, served as the head guard here. He was a man of integrity and compassion, though at that time he was suffering from a debilitating and painful physical ailment. One day, a massive giant of a man named Orko, inspired by John Coffey, was brought to the prison. He stood nearly 7 feet tall, with shoulders as broad as a mountain, yet his eyes held the innocence of a newborn child. He was charged with a heinous crime, the murder of twin sisters in a remote village. As Orko was being led to his cell, a cruel and arrogant guard named Vikram mocked him, shouting, "A new traveler for the death march has arrived." Orko was unlike any other prisoner. He had a deep, paralyzing fear of the dark. He pleaded with Aditya, "Sir, will the lights stay on at night? I cannot bear the darkness." Aditya was struck by this giant's childlike vulnerability. Often, Orko would sob quietly in his cell, whispering, "I tried so hard, sir, but I couldn't save them." In that same prison, an inmate named Ramat kept a small mouse as a pet. The mouse became a source of joy for everyone except the cold-hearted Vikram. One afternoon, in an act of pure malice, Vikram crushed the tiny creature under his heavy boot. As Ramat wailed over the loss of his only friend, Orko reached out and took the limp body of the mouse into his hands. Suddenly, a strange, divine light emanated from Orko's body. He began to cough, and a swarm of dark, moth-like smoke escaped his lips. Moments later, the dead mouse twitched, let out a squeak, and came back to life. Aditya watched in stunned silence, realizing he was witnessing a miracle. Seeing Aditya's physical suffering, Orko called him close one day. The moment Orko placed his hand on the source of Aditya's pain, the guard felt the disease being drawn out of him and into the giant's body. Orko gasped in pain, eventually releasing the darkness from his mouth. Instantly, Aditya was healed. He realized then that Orko was no ordinary man. He was a vessel of divine power. Aditya began to secretly investigate Orko's past case files. He discovered that Orko was innocent. The real killer was a vicious inmate named Will, who had been present at the scene. Orko had actually found the girls and tried to use his powers to revive them, but he was too late. He was found weeping over their bodies, and the villagers had mistaken his grief for guilt. The prison warden's wife was dying of terminal cancer. Risking their jobs, Aditya and a few trusted colleagues secretly took Orko to the warden's home. There, Orko took the woman's terminal illness into himself. She was miraculously cured, but this time, Orko did not release the black smoke. He kept the poison and the hatred of the disease locked inside him. Upon returning to the prison, Orko seized the cruel guard Vikram and transferred the darkness into him. Driven mad by the sudden influx of evil and sickness, Vikram drew his gun and shot the killer, Will, dead. In doing so, Orko had used one vessel of evil to eliminate another. Finally, the day of Orko's execution arrived. Tears streaming down his face, Aditya asked, "I know you are innocent. If I open these doors, will you run?" Orko replied softly, "No, sir. I am tired of the pain I feel from the world. I am tired of the hatred people have for one another. I just want to sleep. Please, let me go." As his final wish, Orko was allowed to watch a movie and was given a grand meal. When he was finally placed in the electric chair, he made one last request. "Please don't put the hood over my face, sir. I'm scared of the dark." With a heavy heart and trembling hands, Aditya flipped the switch. A great soul departed from the world. Epilogue. Many years later, an elderly Aditya lives in a nursing home. He is well over 100 years old, yet he remains as healthy as a young man. Because of Orko's miraculous touch, both Aditya and the little mouse have been granted unnaturally long lives. Aditya often sits by the window, looking at the stars, thinking that while Orko is gone, he left behind an eternal truth. Even in this cruel world, miracles and mercy still exist. Thanks for watching.